じゃあ浅井さん、ぜひ、
はい。
はい。
じゃあトムに。僕はね、この20年間ゴルフ業界で、ゴルフ用品の開発やってきましたと。で、メインはシャフトなんですけれども。で、じゃあワンレングスアイアンで、質問なんですけど、さっきマイクさんがね、もちろん一人一人に合わせて、それが合う人はワンレングスアイアンを使えればいいっていうお話ももちろんあったんですけど、例えば多くのアマチュアゴルファーにとって、ロングアイアンってすごく難しいクラブです。で、そのうちの難しい理由の一つに、球が上げられないっていうのがありますよね。で、クラブが短くなることで、その球を上げるというのはしにくくなる。で、逆にアマチュアにとって短いクラブって、優しいクラブ。
And for the amateur, in a shorter irons, then that's going to be more friendly, more easy to hit.
を逆に今度長くなります。
But that's going to be longer, so also maybe a little bit more difficult.
Do you want the easy answer? So the easy answer still, and today it's about club head speed. So we based on, let's say you're qualifying for the most part from, let's say, a 3-iron all the way to a long wedge. 90 miles an hour seemed to be the magic number that could get the ball up in the air, no problem whatsoever, and so on. And not dealing with the combo yet. But anyway, from a one-length perspective, I think most people are ill fit. And so let's say they're swinging a 7-iron at 75 miles an hour. They probably shouldn't be hitting a 4 or 5-iron anyway. That's the easy answer. They're being misfit. And so maybe they should have a 7-wood or a 9-wood or a hybrid. Or again, AVODA's done the combo set, which has made it maybe a little bit easier, a little bit longer. But again, that can also be done with shafts. I still feel we've been very fortunate. KBS was on board with what we were doing on the one length side. So Ken Braley, who reached out to me a number of times, because I think I've made a composite shaft that will work really well for the one length or single length golf club. So in other words, had maybe a little bit more flexion down at the hosel, so it slung the ball up in the air maybe a little bit more. So again, everybody's different. Everybody's different how they accelerate the golf club, how hard they swing the golf club, and so on. But ultimately, even if I was fitting somebody a variable length and their 7-iron was 70 miles an hour, there's no way I'm giving them a 4-iron or a 5-iron. Maybe not even a 6-iron, to be honest with you. You know, there's other ways to go, right, that will help and benefit the player. So to me, the long and short of it more or less relates to club head speed for the first part, right? If a guy is bent on, hey, I want to hit a 4-iron or a 5-iron, but he only has a 75 miles an hour swing, then obviously we got to deal with something that's in the shaft, or potentially, you know, we need a little bit more of the CG down low in the face, and that might help as well. But, you know, for me being the coach perspective, I'm trying to put together the best toolkit that enables the player to play the best. Yeah, so the other part is that too many people bought sets of one-length golf clubs that were too flat. And so especially in the long iron, way too flat. That's another reason they couldn't get it airborne. And so if they were actually, again, fitted properly, right lie angle correct, they could even have gone shorter with the right shaft deflection and had a more upright lie angle. They would have hit the ball up in the air without any problem whatsoever. So it still comes down, I'm gonna blame the fitters that are out there. You know, some were anti, by the way, very anti one length. Doesn't work, can't work. It only works for Bryson, which is so untrue. You know, that was part of the problem I had as well, even with Cobra, that we needed to find another type of spokesperson out there who was, quote, normal, who could play the clubs. And we had plenty of people who were normal swing planes or normal golf swing. Obviously, Bryson's golf swing is unique, but it's not unique because of the clubs that he played. He chose to swing that way, and then we put the clubs together that would be best for him the way he swung.
That's it. Yeah. So, like Mike says, same length is for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're over that certain speed mark around that 90 mile an hour mark, we've seen that it can be used the whole way through the bag. You get some differences past that point. If a player naturally hits the ball higher with more spin, you may find that 85 mile an hour and up, they can use it. If a player hits it a lot lower naturally, you might find they need to be 100 mile an hour to use it. So it's not just a club head speed barrier, but there's also the delivery barrier, which is making sure the player is correctly fit for the right lie angle. as you both saw yesterday when getting fitted, even 1-2 degrees change in that lie angle can almost double the height of the ball flight, which when you're using a same length 4-iron that you know isn't going to go as high, as easy, making sure the lie angle is right is a key. And on that point as well, yes, there's a club head speed in the set that you may need to find another way to make that 4-5 iron work. If we call that 4 and 5 iron the 20 degree or the 24 degree or the 27 degree, it's just a loft. You can choose what head you make that loft with. So if you need to use a hybrid or a wood at that loft, you may be able to play that at a same length still. Or you may want to go longer. Or if you still want to use an iron head at that point, then that's where we can start going longer. But same length as a concept and as a measurement should exist in everybody's golf bag to a point where they need to make an adjustment for the performance. But it should be in everybody's golf bag. So it is for everyone.
興味深い、昨日ね体験もさせてもらって、本当に興味深く面白いお話だったんですけど、それですごく僕シャフト屋さんとして、感じたのが、来角をすごく大事にフィッティングしているっていう中で、やっぱりゴルフクラブって絶対トゥーダウンをしちゃうので、これは物理学的にしないことは無理ですから、そのシャフトのその性能によってはせっかくフィッティングしてもトゥーダウンしちゃったら来角変わっちゃうので、しないシャフトとは言いませんけど、その限りなく常に同レベル同じそのトゥーダウンをするような、精度の高いシャフトをこれから日本に帰ってですね、頑張って考えて作ってみますので期待しててください。
That'll be exciting. Yeah, it would definitely be good to tailor some more shafts specifically into making the same length work as good as possible. So it'd be nice to have that partner to work with on that.